G'day reefers, I'm Cam the Fish Guy. Welcome to Galler Aquatic TV. The question about what lighting is best for your frag tank is a question that really divides people. There's lots of different opinions as to what you should use to get the best color and growth out of your frags. Now over the years I've tried heaps of different systems and I've finally come to a point where I can say I have a strong opinion as to what is exactly the best lighting system for your frag tank. We're going to take you through this system, show you how to use it. We're going to test the par. I'm talking about the AI blades. We've been using the AI blades over this frag pond for the last few weeks, and whilst it's only been a short amount of time, I'm really happy with what I've seen so far. And before we look at this lighting system and talk more about it, I just want to touch on the sorts of criteria that we're looking at for what makes a great light system for a frag tank. And certainly there are lots of great options out there. I'm not suggesting that the blades are the only way to do it, but I'm going to talk about the criteria as to why the blades are so good. The first thing we're looking for is the quality of the light. The light, of course, has to be a quality that's going to grow corals, and having the ability to manipulate the spectrum also comes into the quality of the light that we're looking at for your frag tank. The interface then also comes into play. Having a light that's able to be easily controlled makes a big difference for your frag system. Especially when you are keeping different types of frags, different types of corals in your frag tank. The other thing is the light spread. You want to ensure that you've got a light spread that is appropriate for the tank that you're keeping your frags in. The ease of mounting the lights is another criteria. It's important that you can easily position your lights above your frag tank, and I certainly like a lighting system that makes it easy to get into your frag tank. If you have cords and cables dropping from the lights down to around the tank area, it makes it really difficult to actually work on your frags. So these are the sorts of things that we look at when we're deciding what sort of light system for a frag tank. And now I want to show you the light system here on the super system on this first pond that we've got, and I'll show you why the blades suit those criteria and why it's such a good light system for your frag tank. So we'll kind of go backwards in our criteria from what we talked about last, and that's really about the way that you can position your lights over your frag tank. And what we've done here on this pond as part of the super system is we've actually suspended two of the HMS rails from the ceiling, and we've linked the AI blades from one of the rail to the other, and the blades actually come with these little coupling systems that clip in, and I'll just take this one out like so, and it's very easy to then clip them back in place. It's nice and secure, and so it's very easy to suspend them from the ceiling using these rails. You can have a single blade on a single rail running the same length as it. You don't have to go perpendicular like this. So there are already quite a few options as to how you can run these lights. Now in the future, we're going to have more options, and whilst they haven't been released in Australia yet, we've seen pictures of some of the other ways that you'll be able to use the suspension kit and a rail to run your blades, but definitely having them suspended so you can easily work in this pond like this really does suit that criteria, and it's a really important aspect of it. So the next thing we'll talk about is the light spread. The AI blades are very easy to get a very good light spread, and we're going to look at the par in a minute on this tank, and you'll see that the par is incredibly consistent in all of the areas that we're growing frags. And the reason for that is because these blades allow us to be very consistent with the way we're spreading out our light. You can see here we've got 5 of the 4 foot blades. Now we've got them above 4 foot long egg crate, which we use to grow our corals on. And so it's very, very easy for you to get a really nice light spread. Now, of course, not everyone uses them on round ponds like this, but if you were to have something in the vicinity of like a 4 or 5 foot tank, which is 2 feet wide, you could very easily run 2 or 3 of the blades across your tank, and it would just give you a very, very nice, beautifully consistent spread. And the consistency of spread does make it easier to position your corals. So it's one of the things that we really look for when we're talking about a light system for a frag tank. Now, the next thing we'll talk about is the interface with the AI blades. I think it's common knowledge that I'm very fond of the AI app. The interface with the AI lights is really, really good. It's very, very easy to use. All the new lights now are Bluetooth, so they're very responsive. And most importantly, the app is intuitive and easy to use. Now, we've got the blades set up on this pond as their own aquarium, and we'll have these blades on a separate aquarium to the second pond so that we can manipulate the different light requirements for the corals in this pond as to that pond. We'll probably have a breakdown of SPS in one pond and more LPS and low light corals in the second pond. And we've also got the SPS mothership as its own aquarium, but I'll just very quickly run you through the app that, or the program, the schedule we've got running for the SPS mothership. And it's a very basic program. Starts at 6 in the morning, it goes through till 7:30 at night. Through the day, we've got the royal at quite high, violet and UV. There is actually some white in this program, but it's not showing it at the moment with the glow. The coral glows don't actually have any white diodes, the grows do. But that's our program. As I said, very, very easy to use. It's a great interface, and definitely the interface and the ability to control your light schedule for the blades is one of the reasons why they make for such an excellent light for your frag tank. There's definitely a lot of lights out there that are a similar sort of bar system with a nice spread that you could do this sort of thing with, but they don't have the same interface and the ability to set a program like you can with the AI blades. So let's check out the PAR on this system. So this is our Apogee PAR meter, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the lights into the peak of their schedule and show you what the PAR is around the tank. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all of the different color channels on all of the lights at their max and have a look at what the PAR is there. So we're going to be looking at two things. We're going to be looking at the actual PAR and how high it is, but also the consistency of the PAR as we move around the pond. So first of all, we'll get out our app and we'll set the light to the peak of the program. So schedule, and this is it. All right, so this is the peak of the schedule. So I'll just start right here. Now I'm going to just go at the level of the frag rack. Of course, that's where the corals are. So we're starting at 240, 250. Just moving it around. It's just jumped up to 300. Over here where we've got the acros, 385, 367, 250. So we're on the edge, 192. So we're on the edge of the frag rack. Now on the edge, of course, there's only light being contributing from a single one of the blades. When we're in the middle, of course, there's multiple blades that are contributing to the PAR. So 320. So we're going to get close to the edge as well. We'll just turn it back on. Okay, so 216. So I'll stay in the middle again, just come over here. So 339, 340. So you can see it's a real, under the middle of the lights. It's a real consistent 3 to 350. On the edges, it's around about the 2 to 250, but really nice and consistent. So now what I'll do, I'll change the light schedule so that we'll go into live demo and we'll put all the lights at 100% on all the color channels. All right, so we've now got all channels on 100%, and I'll just start on the edge here, 216, 219. So that's kind of what it was like in the peak of the schedule that we were running. Let's go into the middle, 308. 357. Well, there you go, 432. So that's probably directly under one of the grows. 400. 389. So it seems that we're a little bit higher than when we're in the schedule. There's 450, 456. So because we're alternating between the grows and the glows, I think we probably find that the power is higher directly under the grow with the white and the diode in the color channels. But when they're all at 100%, the color channels are at 100%, our par hitting the corals is more like the 350 to 450. So that's interesting to see. Certainly the ability to run a par that goes over 400 is a really impressive statistic looking at the blades. Now we do of course have these corals in quite shallow water. The lights are they're probably about 40 or 50 centimeters, so we're talking 20 inches above the water surface. So definitely, I mean, it's ideal conditions for getting some really good par hitting the corals, but this is definitely showing that the blades are an excellent option for growing even corals that require really high light. So there you have it. We've looked at all the criteria about what makes for a great frag tank light, and definitely the blades are really high up there with all of those different criteria. Now there is one other factor or consideration that we haven't really spoken about, and that is the cost. Now, depending on exactly what size and what model you go for with the blades, of course they vary in price. There's the two options for color with the marine section and heaps of different lights, but you pay up to about $1,000 for these longer ones here. And when you consider the amount of spread that you get, I would say that you probably are looking at a little bit cheaper than if you were to go for a system with all radions or hydras or that type of light. But definitely the main reason why it works so well is because you get this excellent spread, really good quality light, you've got the great interface, you've got, at the moment, we've got great ways to suspend them above your tank, but there's going to be more to come in the future. So for all of these reasons, I really think that the AI blades are going to prove to be one of the best options for your frag tank. But what we'll do, we'll bring you back here in 6 months' time and we will show you the growth and the color of the corals that we're growing under these lights. Now, I think that with time we'll be able to, especially when we have the second pond going, and we'll be able to have the two different light intensities and schedules, it will make it a little bit easier for us to really get the most out of these lights. We have actually cooked some of the corals by putting them under light that was a little bit too bright, I think that there's probably a little bit more algae growth on the frags at the moment than we would like, but that's also partly because we've only just put herbivores and cleanup crew into the tank. We really should have put some snails or some rabbitfish or something a lot earlier. But these are all the sort of teething issues. Definitely these lights are an excellent option and a great option for anyone with a frag tank. That's it for today's episode of Gallery Aquatica TV, focusing on the AI blades. Hopefully you've learned a little something about these awesome lights. Now don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. We really appreciate all your feedback in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cam the Fish Guy. Happy reefing! That's it for this week's episode of Gallery Aquatica TV. Don't forget to like and comment on all our videos and subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned to Gallery Aquatica TV for more exciting episodes to come. I'm Cam the Fish Guy. Happy reefing!